சமச்சீர் கல்வி 9th Standard English Unit 1 Poem 1 Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening Robert Frost. Before moving to the poem, we have to learn about the author. Robert Frost. He was born on 1874 and died in 1968. He was an American poet, noted for his realistic description of rural life. Born on 26 March 1874. He spent his first 40 years as an unknown entity. He received 4 Pulitzer Prizes, which means an award for achievements in newspapers, magazine, and online journalism, and also for literature. And he was a special guest at President John F. Kennedy's inauguration. Inauguration means the ceremonial induction into a position. Frost became a poetic force and the unofficial poet laureate of the United States. Poet laureate means an eminent poet appointed as a member of the royal household. Some of his famous works are The Road Not Taken, West Running Brook, Mending Wall, After Apple Picking. Let us move to the objectives of the poem. Through this poem, we will learn about the values of nature, bond with nature and human, and responsibilities remains to do. Let us move to the structure of the poem. This poem has a nice ring to it, almost like a song. There is rhythm and there is reason and even some rhyming in this poem, composed of 4-lined stanzas. This poem is a classical example of the Rubaiyat stanza. Rubaiyat is a beautiful Persian word for quatrain, which means a stanza composed of 4 lines. The Rubaiyat stanza has a rhyme scheme of AABA. Let us move to the characters of the poem. The poet, the horse, the owner of the woods. Then we move on to the theme of the poem. We, in our real life, have many things to look at with wonder, many things to enjoy. But in most cases, we cannot do that. Simply, we have other things to do in our short lifespan. So we have to move on. In this poem, woods are symbolic of the beautiful aspects of life. Let us see the poem stanza-wise. First stanza of the poem. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. One evening, the poet Robert Frost is traveling on his horse through the woods. Woods means forest. Somewhere in the forest, the poet stops on his way. The narrator knows the owner of the woods and even where he lives. He is a bit relaxed thinking that owner of the woods lives in the village, and so he won't see the narrator stopping here. Therefore, he can continue watching the natural beauty of the snow-covered woods. The speaker describes stopping to watch the snowfall while riding a horse through the woods at night while alone in the forest. The speaker reflects the natural world and its implicit contrast with the society. The poem presents the natural world as distinctly separate from the human society. The poem begins with the speaker thinking about who owns the property he is passing through. Whose woods these are, I think I know. Yet it is clear that there is no one to actually stop the speaker from trespassing. The owner's house is in the village, means he will not see the speaker. While this owner may think the woods belongs to him, he cannot control who passes by his land anymore. The first stanza establishes several thematic ideas as well as a certain stylistic pattern throughout the poem. The speaker begins by wondering whose woods he is passing through. This demonstrates a concern with ownership and legal rights to the land. The woods are not merely the woods, but someone's woods. The fact that this is the first issue expressed in the poem also suggests that ownership holds a special significance in the speaker's world. The first stanza apparently presents the picture of a snow-covered woods and tells the tale of a man who wanted to enjoy the beauty of the woods. Let us move to the second stanza of the poem. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. In the second stanza, the narrator of the poem says that his dear horse, whom he is using his carriage, must think it strange to stop here between the woods and the frozen lake in a dark evening, as he normally stops near a farmhouse. The narrator calls his horse my little horse, as it is very dear to him, or maybe the horse is a little one in the literal sense. It may also suggest that the speaker is a humble and ordinary citizen and he cannot afford to buy an expensive horse. He also personifies the horse by indicating that it has a thought process and also referring it as he in the stanza. In the second stanza, the narrator suggests that the weather is cold enough to freeze a lake. The expression darkest evening could suggest several things. Maybe the narrator was very depressed due to his long journey or the cold weather. Otherwise, it may also refer to the longest night of the year. The poet thinks that his little horse must be finding it strange as he has stopped so far from any civilization. There is no farmhouse close by, and they are surrounded by the forest and a frozen lake on the longest night of the year. These lines indicate that the poet is a humble person and they probably spend a lot of time together. Though the animal cannot speak, the poet can feel its emotions. Let us move to the third stanza of the poem. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. As the horse cannot talk, but the poet can read his mind so. The horse shakes his head, ringing the bell attached to his harness. The poet knows that the horse is shaking his bells in order to ask his master if there is any problem, as it is unusual for him to stop by the woods in the darkness. The only other sound that the speaker can hear beyond the harness bells ringing is the sweeping noise coming from the slight wind and the softly falling snow. And the important thing in this stanza is the sound imageries. There are three sounds mentioned in this stanza. They are harness bell, light wind, and the snowflakes. Let us move to the fourth stanza of the poem. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. In the fourth stanza, the narrator describes the woods using three adjectives: lovely, dark, and deep. This indicates that he is enjoying the scene and wants to do so for long, but he has other responsibilities in life. He has to go long before he sleep, so he cannot get the enjoyment for long. He has to move on, and the important thing here is attract the attention of the readers. In this very last line lies the allegorical interpretation. Here, sleep may refer to the death. We, in our life, have many things to look at with wonder, many things to enjoy, but in most cases we cannot do that because we have a lot of works and responsibilities, so we have to move on. As it is, Jawaharlal Nehru, the former Prime Minister of India, had the last two lines of this poem written in block letters and placed it on his desk, as these lines reminded him of his responsibilities. Let us move to the hard words and its meanings from the poem. Queer, strange or odd. Woods, an area of land covered with a thick growth of trees. Harness, straps and fittings by which a horse is fastened to a cart or carriage. Frozen, an ice form. Sweep, to move swiftly and smoothly. Downy, soft and fluffy. Fluffy means looks very soft. Flake, a small piece of snowflake. Snowflake means white piece of frozen water. Then we move on to the conclusion of the poem. This poem is meant to reflect those moods and sentiments when a person wants to relax and do something that he enjoys. It talks about the attitudes of the narrator, who is a seasoned person and who knows his priorities properly. He has some works to do, and even though he wants to stop by a forest, and which is its scenery that may prove to be smoothing and relaxing for him, he reminds himself of his professional approach and then carries on with his journey to finish his task.